guys, can you see me? Can you hear me? I'm just checking if I'm live. Okay, I am. Hi guys, hello, welcome to the session, and I hope you're doing well. I am Bhavana Bisht, and today we'll be doing the chapter How Do Organisms Reproduce, and we'll be doing a small topic in that chapter, and that is sexual reproduction. That is absolutely correct. That is what we are starting with, and we will be dealing with what exactly sexual reproduction in plants. Okay, so, as many of you might be considering that this is a mentee session, well, it is not. Yes, this is a session where you understand what exactly is there in here. Yes, and then we'll move on to understanding um, sexual reproduction in plants, right? We'll have a mentee quiz, but wait for it. It's gonna come when the session ends, right? Okay, so let's begin. So, hi everybody, let me quickly introduce myself. I am Bhavana Bisht. This is me live, and I am an Unacademy Plus certified educator. I teach science, that is physics, chemistry, and biology, and I've done my masters from Mumbai. Yes, and this is the Telegram channel. If you wish, you can join me here to get to know more updates. Hi Zaid, hello. What is the doubt, Harshit? Yes, and I have attached the chord. So for me, the voice is quite okay. So just try and play with the volume. Yes. Also, guys, you can catch me live on the Unacademy app. That is absolutely correct. You can download it if you do not have it yet. And that is Unacademy free special classes. That is absolutely right. And over here, you can see you can real time interact with me using chat and emojis. You can ask questions in the doubt solving section. If anything you do not understand, it will be answered. Along with that, we have live poll. That's right, we do quizzes. Like, you don't have to keep mentee on in one window, another window there is like YouTube class going on. No, not necessary. Over here, all of the things work in the same program, so no double windows, no splitting windows. And also we get a leaderboard so that you can be like, oh, think about that, my first time. So you can compete with your friends and have an amazing time, right? And also you can use the code BBLife10. That is that. So today's session we are beginning with sexual reproduction, and we will be focusing on reproduction in plants. Okay, ma'am, mitosis meiosis समझ नहीं आया. Mitosis meiosis is not there in 10th standard. It won't even be asked to you in examination. Yes, but if you still want to know, I will let you know about it towards the end of the session. Okay. Yes. And hi guys, if you think this lecture might be helpful to you or your friends, do not forget to share this link with your friends. Yes. So let's get started. Now, when we talk about reproduction, right? Why is reproduction there? And we already know the answer to this question, and that is continuation, right? Continuation of what? Continuation of particular species. Yes. And when we talk about continuation of species, that's very nice. And yesterday we looked at asexual reproduction, right? Where only one parent is involved, when offsprings are getting created, mother cell, daughter cells, and all of those beautiful stuff. But in today's session, do we have only one parent involved? The answer is no. We have two parents involved, right? One is a male, the other is a female, right? Both contribute a male gamete and a female gamete, right? So if we take example of humans, what is the male gamete? That is the sperm, right? And if we take example of female, what is the gamete? The ova, right? And these two fuse, giving rise to a zygote. That is absolutely correct. And this is something on which the sexual reproduction works on. The sexual reproduction works on the fusion of two gametes, right? And both of these two gametes we get from a male and a female counterpart, right? So male gives us the sperm and the female gives us the ova. And after the fusion, as soon as they fuse together, we get zygote, right? So this formation of zygote, do you know Whether zygote is like unicellular or multicellular? Anybody? Hi, Rishiti. Hello. Good afternoon. Yes. I will look down whenever I'm waiting for your answers in the chat section. Yes. Very good, Rishiti. Absolutely. So, when we talk about zygote, it is unicellular. That's right. So, you can be like, you know what, today you're such a big organism, you're occupying space, mass, height. But किसी ज़माने में आप भी एक unicellular थे, right? You were also made up of just one cell. That's right. So when we talk about sexual reproduction, it's all about male female gamete, that is sperm and the ova, and they fuse together, right? But the question is ki, what are these gametes? Okay, so you know, in every body we have a number of chromosomes that are assigned to us, no matter who. Yes, all of us have been assigned a number of chromosomes, and we humans have how many chromosomes? We humans have how many chromosomes? Yes. Yes, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, right? So when we talk in pairs, it is called as the diploid number. And when we like directly cut it in half, that number becomes something called as haploid, right? And haploid is represented by single N, and gametes are haploid in nature. Clear? Yes. So human beings are mammals, absolutely, and we reproduce sexually. Sexual reproduction involves what? The fusion of male and female gamete, which is the formation of zygote. Okay. So you have a very important term in this chapter, and that is a fertilization. What is that? That is fertilization. So what exactly is fertilization? The fusion of male and female gametes leading to the formation of zygote is called as fertilization. One of the most important definitions that you have in this chapter. Okay. Now the zygote will divide. Now zygote gets formed in the oviduct. Yet it has to come to the uterus and embed itself. It becomes embryo. Then the embryo becomes a fetus. Okay. So this is the journey, and we'll talk more about this journey in tomorrow's session at 3:45. Okay. But today we are focusing on somebody else. Yes, we'll come to it. But now, always remember, why is sexual reproduction, still there, and why are we not all following asexual reproduction? Why? Because sexual reproduction creates variations. So what does it create? It creates variations. Like you, me, we both are humans, right? I have two eyes, one nose, a mouth, 2 ears, but here I am looking absolutely different from what you are. Yes. Although we both are Homo sapiens sapiens, but do we exactly look alike? Yes. Do we talk the same? Do we walk the same? The answer is no, right? We do not. Yes. Why is this so? Because we have come from two parents, a male and a female, two gametes from two different individuals having two different lineages have come together to give rise to you. And that right there, this fusion brings a lot of variations. And as a result, although we are one, but we are different. Yes, that's right. We are unique. So when we talk about this unique thing, so what are we talking about in plants? Yes. So in plants, as you see, when you grow a plant, right, it is small, it's cute, it's amazing. But as soon as you like grow it, germinates and give rise to flowers, no, right? It will take some time, you know. It will first grow into a seedling, then a plantlet, and then when it is mature enough, it will give rise to flowers. That is right. And why flowers? Because flowers form the reproductive structures of a plant. Yes. So the reproductive parts of angiosperms are located in the flower. Oh, but wait, there is one term. I don't know if you've heard about this before or not, but do you know the meaning of the term angiosperms? How many? How many of you know the meaning of the term angiosperms? Yes, waiting for the answer in the chat section. Very good, Harshit. Yes. So you see, in the plant kingdom, okay, the plants are further divided. The plants are further divided into flower bearing and non-bearing, right? So what are these? What exactly are we talking about? So plants which do not give rise to flowers, okay, they are termed as gymnosperms. What are they termed as? They are termed as gymnosperms. Have you heard about those pine cones? We also find them in decoration during Christmas, right? So pine trees, basically, you can understand right now, are gymnosperms, right? And then we have angiosperms. What is the meaning of angiosperms? Angiosperms meaning the one who give rise to flowers. Okay, so gymnosperms do not give rise to flowers. Angiosperms do give rise to flowers. So right now, the reproduction that we are seeing is of angiosperms, is of plants who produce flower. Is that clear? Yes. So who is the reproductive part of angiospermic plant? The reproductive part of angiospermic plant is none other than the flower. Is that clear? Now this is a very, very, very important from your exam perspective. This is one of the most important diagrams and it has a very high chances of being there in your question paper. Yes. And that is longitudinal section of a flower. Yes. So what you can do, see, once you have understood this concept, right? So it is necessary to go again and again and go and look at the diagram, the textbook, your notes. The answer is no, just go for a stroll in the park. Yes. And there, whatever flowers you see, for example, let's say you see hibiscus, right? Pluck the hibiscus. With obviously, if any permissions are required, please take them. And, then take the hibiscus, dissect it, or, just look at it and try to identify the parts. And if you're able to do that, then voila, that is where you have won 80% of your battle. Yes. So let's first, for you to do that, we'll have to understand this, right? So in most of the times, you will see whenever, let's say, you're giving flower to somebody, you'll always see that the flower has a stalk, right? The flower has a stalk. Why is this green color becoming black in the slide? Photo में it's all right, it's green. Okay, I'll try to get this rectified in tomorrow's session, by tomorrow's session. Okay. So I will draw, so don't worry about it. I'll even make it white if you wish. Okay, yellow. Yellow works fine. So over here, they have drawn the ovule, so everybody of you can see. Yes, this is where the ovule is. Over here, all right, from my, you can see everything green in the center, because on my YouTube I can see it as black. Just give me a confirmation if you can see it green and it's all right. Okay, so let's we'll do the center part later. Okay, so now whenever we talk about a flower, right, and you might have tried to give flowers to somebody, right? You will always see that flowers are on a stalk, right? For example, like examples of rose, you'll have a rose and you'll have a rose flower, but below that you'll have a nice stalk below it, right? So that stalk of the flower, is called as the pedicel. Is that clear? So whenever you see a flower which has the pedicel, it is called as a pedicellate flower. Okay. Does that mean there are other flowers out there who do not have a pedicel, who do not have a stalk? The answer is yes, there are. Hi Anshika Singh, hello. Yes, it's black. Something's wrong. No worries. I'll try to get it done, rectified. Yes. Then how many of you like bengal, brinjal? How many of you know about brinjal? Yes. Give me a thumbs up or something in the chat section. How many of you have seen bengal? देखा है क्या आपने उसको कभी? Yes. So बैंगन के ऊपर ना आप देखो कैसे green, like if this is like the बैंगन, right? So you will see some green leaf-like structures that are here, right? So what exactly is this? This green-like structure that you see on the बैंगन, ये होता क्या है भाई? What is this? Yes. So these are nothing but the sepals. Okay. Sepals have another name called as the calyx. Okay. So generally क्या होता है ना कि if you might have seen a bud, for example, see, can you see a bud over here? Yes, bud क्या होता है? Bud green color का होता है. क्यों? Because over here it has the function of protecting the reproductive organs of the plant. Yes, when they are still developing. So ये जो green color का covering दिख रहा है ना, वो exactly है क्या? What is that? So that is none other than sepal, that is called as the calyx. Okay. तो जो fruit बन जाते हैं ना, so generally these calyx, corolla, they all fall off. Yes, but over here in brinjal you will see they do not fall off, they are there. Yes, तो ये जो आपको green color का दिखता है, this is the calyx, the sepal of the brinjal flower. Okay. So next time you see a brinjal, next time you see a बैंगन, आपको पता होगा कि उसके पीछे की story क्या है. That's right. So this is the sepal. Okay, understood. Very nice. Now let's move on. Understanding the flowers. Like, why are we all attracted to flowers, right? Why do we all love them? Because they are available to us in so many variety of colors and shapes and sizes and amazing fragrance, right? And all of these features are generally associated with the petals. The petals are also called as the corolla. इसको हम और क्या बोलते हैं? हम इसको corolla भी बोलते हैं, right? So these corolla or the petals are very sometimes very big, sometimes small, and so many colors, right? Because उनका काम ही वही होता है. उनका काम होता है attract करना. किसे attract करना? Insects को attract करना. And वो क्यों? We'll get to know in the near future in this session. Okay. So now let's move on to the most important part of the flowers. Yes, that is the pistil and the stamen, because these are the reproductive structures of the flower. Yes, so let's get into it. So pistil is also called as the carpel. Yes, it is also called as something called as gynoecium. Yes, so आपको तीन नाम मिल चुके हैं यहाँ पे. So this is nothing but the female reproductive structure. What is this? This is the female reproductive structure. Yes. So over here it is made up of stigma, style and ovary. So for a better understanding, because all of them have different functions, it has been divided into stigma, style and ovary. Is that clear, everybody? Yes. So we'll know more about it in the upcoming slides. Then this is the stamen, yes, which is also called as androecium. It is also called as androecium. That means it is the male reproductive structure. Okay, the male reproductive structure is again divided into two parts. We have the anther and the filament. So you see this nice, it's like the must, एकदम noodle जैसा structure, that is the filament. And इसके ऊपर ये जो golden honey color के आपको और structures दिख रहे हैं, these are called as the anthers. Okay, so this is a brief overview of the longitudinal section of the flower. Yes. So now let's understand what each of them does. What is the function of each? Ayo. Hello? Okay. So as I told you, that will be moving on to the female reproductive structures. Yes. And it looks completely blank. No issues. Well, we are good at drawing tracing, so we'll do that. Yes. So over here, this is, you see the flower-like structure right here? Yes. This is the stigma. Yes. Now this long column-like structure that you see, right? Yes, this long column-like structure that you see, that forms your style. Yes. And this bulged part at the bottom, forms the ovary. Yes. And ovary has something called as the ovules inside it. Okay. So let's draw that. Inside the ovary you will have ovules. Okay. They look like this right here. Yes. Done. Okay. Now, what is the function of each? So this stigma right here has, so there are pollen grains. Where are the pollen grains? The pollen grains come from the pollen grains come from the stigma. Come to the stigma. Yes. So over here you can see the anther. Now anther has pollen sacs, and which in turn produce pollen grains. Now if you're wondering what are pollen grains, if you have seen hibiscus, right, you will see over here it has these yellowy things. Yes, right at this portion. Yes. So kya hai? These are pollen grains. Yes, and these pollen grains are made where? They are made at the anther. Clear? Okay. Okay. So over here, this is the stigma. So जब pollen grain male से female में आता है, right? So it lands on this stigma. Yes. Remember, if you might have gone to parks to play football, basketball, or anything, and there are flower beds around you, you will see flowers के आसपास ना हमेशा कोई ना कोई आपको insect मिलेगा. And why is that the case? Because on stigma we also see honeybees, right? And what are they famous for? They are famous for getting the nectar of the flower, right? And this nectar of the flower is what makes the pollen grain stick to the stigma. Yes. अब ये nectar को pollen grain absorb कर लेता है. So pollen grain are generally microscopic in nature, and फिर वो ऐसे absorb होके they become big balls and they form pollen tubes. Yes. So let's see what exactly the pollen tube looks like. So pollen grains formed in the anther. Yes. So, and when they fall on the stigma, and then they absorb the nectar, and after that they are nice and healthy because they have had their food now, and they give rise to a pollen tube. Is that clear? They become like this. This is this right here, this tail-like structure that you see is the pollen tube. This is the tube through which the male gametes will travel towards the ovule inside the ovary. Okay. Hi Akshay Srivastava. Hello. Welcome to the session. So, अभी समझ लो, अगर आपको ये नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, so you might understand this in a matter that ये जो stigma है ना, what is this? Like imagine this is an entire airport scene. ठीक है? So stigma is the landing site. Yes, this is where the pollen grains are going to land. Okay. Now this entire style is what? This entire style is your runway. Yes. And where is your destination? Obviously your destination is going to the airport and get a cab or something, right? So that you can go out from there. So let's assume that this ovary right here is our airport. Okay. So landing site पे हम pollen grains को land कराते हैं. So that is the stigma. Now the pollen tube travels to the style that becomes the runway, and then we have the ovary, which forms what? Yes, the ovary has ovules, right? Yes, जहाँ पे male gametes को जाना है for fertilization, and that is present in the airport. Exactly how you go to the airport and you meet all people you love. Yes, so that scene exactly happens right there. Okay. So over here, as we have seen that the pollen grains are made in the anther, in the pollen. Say airport तो stigma होता है ना? नहीं हर्षित. Stigma is the landing site, जहाँ पे plane ऐसे land करेगा. क्यों? क्योंकि स्टाइल है ना. स्टाइल में भी हमको रनवे में चलता भी तो जाएगा, right? So that is the pollen tube. So anther makes pollen grains, yes. And you see this filament-like structure. This is just a, what to say, supporting structure to the anther, yes. So this is just the male reproductive system, that is also called as the stamen, yes. It is also called as androecium, yes. And it has two parts, the anther and the filament, and the function is production of pollen grains, and that contains the male gamete. Okay. Now generally क्या होता है ना कि these flowers are also of two types. There are bisexual flowers and unisexual flowers. So what does that mean? So when we talk about bisexual flowers, yes, what is the meaning of bisexual flowers? So as we just saw that we have male reproductive system, yes, and we have the female reproductive system, right? So there is a flower which contains the male reproductive system and the female reproductive system, right? So that is termed as a bisexual flower, yes. So here you can see these are the pollen grains, right? Yes. This is the stigma. So over here it means that it contains both the male and the female reproductive structure, that is the carpel, pistil, whatever you want to call the female, and male, that is the stamen, is present over there, and therefore it is called as a bisexual flower. Okay. Then we move on to, I think everybody knows which flower is this. This is none other than hibiscus, right? Shoe flower. Then we have unisexual flowers. Now if you pay attention, you will see there is a filament, yes, and these yellow pointed like structures that you see over here, these are nothing but the anther. That is absolutely correct, where you will get pollen grains, right? So this is the anther right here. But do we see any anther present in this flower? The answer is no. Rather, we see a bulged portion right here. And where do we see a bulged portion towards the end? And that happens to be ovary in the female reproductive structure, right? So this flower right here is termed as the female flower. Why? Because it only has the presence of female reproductive structures. And these flowers right here are termed as male flowers. Why? Because they have the presence of male reproductive structures. Okay. So these are what? Two different flowers depending upon which reproductive structure they possess. And therefore they are called as unisexual flowers. Okay. Right here on the screen you have flowers of the plant papaya. Yes, papaya has male and female plants. So till here, if you have any doubts, please let me know. Anybody? No? Okay. So let's move on. Now, we always are talking about that the pollen grains. The pollen grains will move onto the stigma, right? Yes. But इसको कुछ बोलते हैं क्या? Do we have like a certain name to it? Yes, and the answer is yes. So when the pollen grains land on the stigma, right, for further fertilization, that is termed as pollination, right? So let's understand pollination, shall we? So in pollination, we have two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Okay, now you see this is, let's say this is plant P and let's say this is plant Q. Yes. So hi Unnati. Hello, welcome to the session. I do not know, Unnati. Yes, so when we talk about P over here, right here, you will see that it has flowers, okay? And you can see bisexual flowers. Here you can see the female and you can see the stamen right here. Yes. तो जब ये स्टेमन से खुद के फ्लावर के खुद के स्टेमन से खुद के स्टिग्मा में जब जाता है, ओके, सेम फ्लावर सेम स्टेमन सेम स्टिग्मा, सो दैट इज टर्म्ड एज सेल्फ pollination. Yes, why? Because the flower is the same. Yes, and the pollen grains have come from that stamen itself to the stigma of the same flower, so that is self pollination. Okay, now but now when the pollen grain is going from plant P to plant Q. Yes, अब ये दो अलग अलग plant हो गए. Yes, are they the same? No, now they are two different plants. So when the pollen grain goes from plant P to plant Q, so the C right here is nothing but cross pollination. Okay, so same flower when the pollen grains travel, that is self pollination. And when they travel from the flower of one plant to the flower of another plant, that is termed as cross-pollination. Clear? Yes. So the pollen needs to be transferred from the stamen to the stigma, right? And if this transfer of pollen grain occurs in the same flower, it is termed as self-pollination. On the other hand, if the pollen is transferred from one flower to another of another plant belonging to the same species, obviously, right? अब hibiscus का pollen mango के flower को तो pollinate नहीं करेगा ना, because they are not belonging to the same species. Okay, so that is cross pollination, same species. Okay, they are incompatible with each other. Okay, चलो, बट ये सब तो ठीक है मैम, बट व्हाट इज लाइक हु इज हेल्पिंग इन दिस? मतलब ऐसे पोलन ऐसे अपने आप जाता है कि हवा में उड़ता जाए? वेल, हवा में भी उड़ता है, बट द क्वेश्चन इज who are these pollinators, right? What is this pollinator? So the factors of the environment which help in the process of pollination are called as pollinators. Yes, so over here you can see insects, you can see honeybees, right? Well, you can see black, iska matlab the entire screen is green. Okay, so as you can see, honeybees are in a field of flowers, right? And so honeybees या कोई भी insect क्या करता है, flowers के पास जाता है to get the nectar, right? And then while just doing so, तो उसके आजू बाजू भी ऐसे बॉडी लगती है, तो उससे क्या होता है कि जितने भी स्टेमन के ऊपर एंथर्स थे ना, वो उनके बॉडी के ऊपर लग जाते हैं, राइट? Now the same honeybee will go from one flower to another. Yes, so when they are traveling from one flower to another, so what are they going to do? उधर भी वो लोग सेम करने वाले हैं, तो पहले फ्लावर का वहाँ पे थोड़ा पोलन गिर जाएगा, right? So that is how it helps in the process of pollination. Clear? Next we have wind. Okay, so we see how the plants, the trees, the flowers, everybody moves when there is nice wind blowing through, right? Yes, so if there is such a huge gust of wind, so obviously it is going to even make the pollen grains fly. Yes, and therefore wind also plays a very important role in pollination. Clear? Next we also have water, which plays a very important role. Yes, so what happens with water? So as you can see over here we have a water plant in like water plants always grow in water, right? So यहाँ पे क्या होगा, इसके जो pollens है वो कैसे transfer होंगे? Through water. Why? Because it's a water plant, right? Like lotuses, water lilies. So ये कैसे transfer होंगे? Water के through transfer होंगे, right? So over here we have seen at 3 pollinators who help in the process of pollination. So we have the insects, we have the water, and we have the wind. Is that clear? And lastly, let's move on to fertilization. Yes, so what is fertilization? Fertilization, as we already know, is the fusion of male and female gamete, right? The fusion of male and female gamete is termed as fertilization. So over here, as you can see, there's a pollen grain on the stigma. Yes, the pollen grain has now created a pollen tube that will, okay, wait, I'll just change the color. I don't think you can see. So it will go through the stigma. Yes, it has created a tube, and you can see in this tube itself, right here, there are the two male gametes. Right, the two male gametes will enter the ovary where there are the nucleus waiting for them, and they will fertilize it. Yes, leading to the formation of zygote. Now, in angiospermic plants, there is something called as a double fertilization. There is something called as double fertilization that takes place. Okay. Now, what is this double fertilization? Yes, डबल फर्टिलाइजेशन मतलब दो मेल गेमीट है, राइट? तो दो मेल गेमीट, एक मेल गेमीट एक पोलर न्यूक्लियाई को फर्टिलाइज करके दैट लीड्स टू द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ जाइगोट व्हिच इज डिप्लॉयड इन नेचर. बट जो दूसरा वाला है ना, दैट fertilizes with the other part and that give rise to endosperm. Okay, so as you're seeing two fertilizations over here, it is termed as a double fertilization. So what is the function of endosperm? The function of endosperm is to give nutrition to the zygote while it is growing. Okay, so that is why we call it as a double fertilization. No. The seed will be one. Harshit, no. The seed will be one. See, zygote तो एक ही बना ना. उसके साथ क्या बना? उसके साथ बना एंडोस्पर्म, राइट? Now what is endosperm? हाँ, कितने लोगों ने नारियल पानी पिया है? Yes, have you had नारियल पानी? तो नारियल का वो जो पानी है, what exactly is that? Everybody is like, it is so nutritive, सबको पीना चाहिए, right? So that नारियल का पानी is nothing but एंडोस्पर्म. क्या है वो? एंडोस्पर्म है. वहां पे जो एंडोस्पर्म है वो लिक्विड इन नेचर है, दैट इज व्हाई यू आर एबल टू ड्रिंक इट. यस, सो दैट इज एंडोस्पर्म. ओके, एंड जो सीड है वो आपका जाइगोट से बनेगा, राइट? सो ये एंडोस्पर्म का फंक्शन क्या है? द फंक्शन ऑफ एंडोस्पर्म इज टू गिव न्यूट्रिशन to whenever the zygote grows, right, will then form into a seedling. तो जब तक उसके पास खुद के पत्ते नहीं आ जाते, जब तक वो खुद photosynthesis नहीं कर पाता, right? So who will give the nutrition? Yes, right. So now let's look at the life cycle. Now let's look at the life cycle of a seed. Yes, shall we? So when we talk about the life cycle, so here it is. The life cycle, obviously you take a seed. Yes, you sow the seed, it germinates and you get a young plant out of it, right? So यहाँ पे पहले primary growth होगा, मतलब the plant will grow in height, in width, and finally when it is settled in life, right, then it will be a mature plant. And when it is a mature plant, then what is going to happen? Then it is going to allow for flower growth, right? Because अभी उसके पास excess energy है जो कि वो flower grow करने में use कर सकता है. Because flower growth is what? It is actually a vessel of reproduction. Yes, so it takes a lot of energy from the plants, so you have to be committed to it. So once the flower come out, then it will have, if it is a bisexual plant, then you will have both the gynoecium and the androecium, right? So it will fertilize and give rise to a fruit. Again, you will eat the fruit. Yes, and once you eat the fruit, then what are you going to get? You are going to get the seed again, right? And the life cycle will move on and on and on. But the question is कि मैम ये seed और ये fruit कहाँ से आ गया? After fertilization. That is right. After fertilization क्या होता है? See, अभी तक ना जो भी था ये हमारे petals, the corolla, everything that was there, what was it doing? It was actually there to attract the pollinators, the insects, right? So ताकि वो pollination कर सके. And as soon as pollination happens, fertilization happens, and now the flower gets to know, अरे वाह, मैं जिस काम के लिए इस दुनिया में आया था अब वो हो चुका है. So what am I supposed to do? So now what happens? The calyx, yes, it falls off. The petals, that is the corolla, that also falls off, right? अभी सिर्फ हमारी ovary is the thing where everything happens, right? So ovary के अंदर, inside the ovary, always remember there is something called as ovule, inside which we have the female gametes, right? So over here, this ovule grows to become a seed. It grows to become a seed, right? And this ovary grows to become the fruit. तो जो आप आम खाते हो ना, yes, the आम that you're eating, that is the fruit. And वो किससे बना है? ओवरी से बना है, yes. And ये जो ovule है, ये ovule क्या है? After fertilization, it becomes seed so that it can give rise to a new plant. Is that clear? Yes. So ovary gives rise to the fruit, ovule gives rise to the seeds. Okay, this is one amazing GIF, and this was the best GIF that you have on the internet to understand this entire reproduction in plants. But I guess you won't be able, are you able to see it? Yes, you can see. Although everything looks black, but you know where what is happening. You can see how the two male gametes now go to the ovule, then they fertilize, right? And one forms the zygote and the other forms the endosperm, right? And that is happening inside one ovule. So you can see there are so many ovules. So 6 seeds ban gaye and uska fruit ban gaya, right? So this is one of the most amazing GIFs that you will have right there. Understood? Yes. So if you want such more amazing sessions, guys, obviously you can see us on Plus. As you can see, some of your favorite educators like Vinay Bajaj sir, Akshay sir, Kansha ma'am, Arpit sir are all here in the Bullseye batch. Similarly, I am taking your crash course in English, that's right. And I'm teaching you physics in the Big Bang Theory, that's right, where we are only focusing on that's right, science. So also guys, we have bugs and bounty just for you. So whenever you're watching a session, right, and you think there is something which is inappropriate in the content, yes, you do not agree with it, or you think it's not the right information, yes, so you can report a particular issue. The Google form is there in the description box below. And if you're the very first one to report it, you will have an amazing prize. That's right. So report any inappropriate content using the form in the description box below. And let's make this a very healthy and amazing place, right? Yes. Hi Shikhar Khosla. Hello. Also on Unacademy, we have Plus and Iconic subscriptions. Okay. So what is Plus? As you can see, Plus is limited to this circle right here. मतलब यहाँ पे आप घर के अंदर बैठे बैठे सारे classes देख सकते हैं. You can decide who you want to learn from. You have live classes, weekly tests, unlimited access, structured courses. All of these are there, and you can take absolute फायदा of that, and it is total पैसा वसूल है भाई. Yes. But along with that, we have Iconic, right? And here you see Iconic not only gives you Plus, but it also gives you some additional benefits. And what are that? So you get your own personal mentor where you will be guided, yes, by the top exam experts. You will also have a study plan, and that is absolutely right, where you'll have a customized study plan with bi-weekly review. मतलब हर 2 week में review किया जाएगा कि if you're following it or not. So if you're somebody who wants to study but somehow willpower नहीं आ रही है, so this is going to be amazing for you. Yes, also you get study material, you get specialized notes and practice test. You have expert guidelines, that is right. So there are people in the category who are going to come up and give you special sessions which will help you boost your answer writing. Yes, and you are going to write answers जो आपके classmates में से और कोई नहीं लिखने वाला है. Also, you get test analysis, that is get one-on-one guidance from top exam experts. That's right. So if there's a test and you need guidance on how to write about it, how to solve it, how to go about it, so that is everything going to be given to you on 1:1 basis. So personal attention we might not get anywhere on an online platform. That is what you're getting on Unacademy Iconic with all the features of Unacademy Plus. So Iconic is the bigger fruit that you can have, right? So these are the plans for Unacademy Plus. So this is for 9, 10th, 11th and 12th. This is for 9, 10th, 11th and 12th. Right, as you can see over here, this is the subscription prices. You can go for 3 months, or you can go for 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24, 36, 42, 48 months. Along with that, we have Iconic. Yes. Now in Iconic also the same things happen. Now if you're here and you're like, nahi yaar, bas boards ke liye join karna hai, you can do that as well. But remember that as soon as you subscribe, let's say you're subscribing to 10th standard, the 11th or 12th ki classes bhi aapke liye live ho jate hain, right? And if you're very like into it and you understand what you're supposed to take, like you are going to go for science, so you can never just take the entire subscription for 24 to 36 months, because that is going to be a whole deal, right? So aapko har jagah bhatakna nahi padega to get the best guidance. Okay, also we have a mega offer running for you. If you're subscribing to Plus, that is if you're buying 12 months of subscription, you're going to get 2 months of extension absolutely for free. Matlab kya? You're subscribing, paying the entire price, yes, but rather than getting 12 months, the price that you're paying for, rather you're going to get 14 months. That's right. And अगर आपने कोड यूज किया BB Live 10, तो आपको वो प्राइस के ऊपर 10% डिस्काउंट भी मिल जाएगा. So all in all, it's an amazing offer, guys. Also, if you're just here and you're like, you know what, first I just want to try with the boards and everything, because we have one-shot videos, PYQs, important diagrams, and all of that happening on Unacademy Plus and Iconic, which is totally going to help you in your board examination. So you can just buy a 3-month subscription, right? And ये 3 month के subscription पे आपको 1 month absolutely free मिल जाएगा, ठीक है? Yes, and again आपको 10% discount मिल जाएगा on the price that you're paying. Yes, using the code BBLive10. Also, guys, for the one last time, we have Prodigy examination. On participating in this, you can be independent enough, because you'll be getting scholarships and you can pay your own college fees, because college can be expensive, right? So this Prodigy exam right here gives you exciting rewards up to 10 crore rupees. That is right, you heard me correct. And is happening for class 7 to 10 standard learners, even 11th and 12th. So उनका form भी अलग है, they वो भी fill कर सकते हैं. It's going to happen for 7 to 10 standard from 12 to 1 p.m. The link is there in the description box below. Go and go and enroll. Do not miss this chance. And while you're enrolling, do not forget to use the code BBLive10. Okay. So I'll see you super soon. That is tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Yes. I hope you enjoyed this session. Thank you so much. If you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe and hit the bell notification. Yes, so that you're notified whenever any of us are live. Also, not forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up, and also subscribe to the channel, share with your friends. And I'll see you tomorrow at 3:45. Till then, take care of yourselves and just bye-bye, guys. Take care.